Let's go ahead and get started.
Ready.
This is the September 7th meeting of the Delaware County Regional Wastewater meeting. Penny, will you call the roll, please?
Bill,
Yes.
Ray,
Here.
Jeff,
Here.
Ron,
Here.
Brandon, Mike.
Here. All right, seeing our treasurer is running a little bit behind, I'll pick him up. Claims for July 28, 2022 through August 31st, 2022, totaling $207,117.52. Account balances as of August 1st were cash operating of the nice $420,000, improvement fund balance of $1,888,463.20, and the Delville TIF transfer of $9,411 for August of 2022. Are there any questions? I entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the treasurer's report as stated.
Second.
First and second, any discussion or changes? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion approved. Old business. Notice to Muncie Sanitary District.
We are, let me pull it up. I forgot to bring it. I have it.
And give an extra,
I'm gonna give an explanation.
There you go.
Let me get it real quick. So it's in your board packets. Just got it. The contract with, Muncie Sanitary District is coming up. And so we need to give them, does somebody have that letter?
we talked about it in the last meeting.
Yeah.
It's a 1 year, it's a 1 year notice. John's here.
September 23.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have to give 1 year notice on the deal going forward. So yes, that's the paperwork that needs to be sent to MSD.
And
It should have been in your packet.
yeah,
when
the
you
draft
went
was in the packet, and if you guys approve it, we'll get that sent out to them.
through. Is there any questions or concerns? Seeing none, I entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion. I'll second.
I have a first and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion approved. Employee health medical insurance quote. Jason, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, I had spoke with the committee members for the upcoming renewal on the medical, dental, and vision plans that are set to roll over at the beginning of November. I think that the committee was ready to recommend that we continue to go with the Anthem plan that we currently have. We'll see a 5.43% increase from last year's plan, but the year prior we saw a 5.41% decrease. So we're really at the break-even point, and that's just on the medical side. With the dental and vision, we haven't seen an increase for the last 3 years. So I think the committee was ready to make the recommendation and look for approval to get that going for the November rollover date.
I don't think you can do better than that.
Stayed with the same deductibles, actually a little bit better at the prescription plan, and same max out of pocket and everything stays the same. And it's Anthem, Blue Cross Blue Shield, not tied to the IU health plan and or United, where we see a little bit of an increase. So when we looked at all of them, it was definitely the best bang for the buck.
Well, would you like to make a motion?
I would like to make a motion that we approve the employee plan, health medical that Jason brought to the committee's oversight.
I'll second that motion.
First and a second. Any other discussion for the board? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion approved. Comac Yorktown agreement.
In your packet was the agreement between the town of Yorktown and,
Right up here.
Del-
Thanks Penny for that.
you're welcome, Delaware County Regional Wastewater District. So, does anybody have any questions about it?
We do down here, Ron's already seen, you got copies, I might keep picking my computer up, yeah, so. Ron, or sorry.
Yeah,
Mike.
I'm like, yeah. I have a question. What will their monthly premium be? Was that
DCRWD or is that Yorktown?
Right now, are you talking about for this agreement?
Yeah, 15 homes that are being added.
It'd be at the contracted rate of, that's 316 now for 4,000 gallons per home. So it'd be flat rated.
4,000 gallons.
316.
As they connect.
Okay. And DCRWD right now is based on 7,000 gallons, correct?
Yes.
So those big homes out there are gonna use less than what I'm using. Just a question for future use.
It's actually, in my opinion, when the 7,000 was put into effect, it was probably on the high side there. After speaking with engineers and what I didn't suggest you go by, you're looking at roughly about 4,000 gallons per month per household.
Thank you.
Any other questions or concerns? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion.
Make the motion.
I have a first, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a first and second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Abstain.
One abstain. Westbrook Project monthly disbursement request. I'm trying to keep this on track.
Yes, we have one from Commonwealth this month for the Westbrook job for $11,580. Part of that's for an SRS disbursement. The other one's part of a AMP as well. So, but the total amount being the $11,580. We need a motion to get this approved and get those submitted to SRF for pay.
So moved.
Second.
You do. See, you should have, Penny, you messed up. Should have put him down there. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion approved.
Bill, I'll have a follow-up to that when it's my turn to talk.
Okay. Jason, the floor is yours, sir.
Also, as well, we sent it out in this month's board packet. We've gotten quotes on our to get a flow meter installed over at the Tanglewood location. Whether we end up using it for a contract negotiation with MSD or just our own personal use, we got that quote in, and it was for. And this was from Grip, who we've used in the past as well. It was for $11,230, and that would be a solar with a backup, battery backup on site installed to get that completed, where we have a totalizer knowing what's coming from the flow from the Tanglewood area. Keith from Grip is willing to put that in for that price, and also they would do a 60-day trial, make sure everything's working properly with it being a kind of a special connection and application there. So I would like to see that get installed. And like I said, if we don't use it for an MSD contract, we at least know where we're standing at, and it would really help in the future be able to track down any issues that we may have within that area.
Where are you paying from?
It'd probably come out of the equipment fund right now.
What's that do to our budget?
We also
Yeah.
have, and with that being said, with that operation and maintenance, the big line item, we don't necessarily have this wrote in the budget, but we definitely have it in the room forward and the, what am I looking for, Penny, here? The improvement fund on the.
Said that.
Yeah. So we don't, it's not a budgeted item, but I'd like to see it come out of the improvement fund and get that put in, and it'd be my recommendation that we get it done.
Where's the improvement fund on the Form 1?
It's not.
It's not, it's that,
Treasurer's report.
Oh, okay.
that
I'm sorry.
account.
You're one of
That's,
Next board's pleasure.
The only other area that we could really pull it out of would be contractual services out of the Rorton area. We have currently have 17,882 in there. It kind of dropped us. We could still probably manage underneath that line item, and it just I may be coming to you at a later point asking for some pump stuff.
The improvement fund is for items that we're replacing, and this is a meter that is no longer operational that we're replacing,
that
correct?
we don't have.
Haven't-
Never had.
one.
Never had one.
Yeah.
Must Sanitary offered that up. Did they offer that they would put it in, or when we were talking
We
about
just
stuff?
thought, I think we left that open at the table. John, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I don't remember that was on one of our very first meetings.
This is the first I've heard about it. We did the trial out there with the meter.
That's right, that's right.
We paid
We
for
did the
that,
trial.
passed the
Right.
info off to Jason,
Trial.
and it was a trial to get
They
some
did it, and
data.
it was up to us whether we wanted to proceed or go on
One
from
of the
there.
issues too
It's
is
been-
where we did the trial at, it's, unless you go into when I say special application of that pipe there, with it being a closed system like it is, we're actually they'll have to put one inside the pipe where if we go down line closer to John's system, we can't ever get an accurate reading because we're picking up some flow from part of his area too. So it almost has to be a situation where we're putting it in, where we're gonna place it. It's gonna be placed on the actual closed force main there. That's why, like I said, Keith's also gonna allow us a 60-day window where if it's not what we need and we're not getting accurate reading, then we won't be charged for it.
Yeah,
And talking to Jason and talking to Colin, I mean, it's something that we should, for future reference, we should have it in there one way or another. It doesn't really matter. It's an investment that has been advised that we should make at this time if the board sees so fit.
and I like the idea of using the improvement fund for it, so I'll make the motion to approve, and I'll make it that we utilize the improvement fund for the purchase.
second.
I have a first and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Abstained? We'll make sure I cover you.
The agreement was between Yorktown and the district. Do you think
Go
I'm gonna
ahead,
vote on
Jason.
it? Both of you sitting on either side of me.
The delinquency
You relate to the
totals
meeting.
for the total area of all the areas combined this month was at $1,000, $1,085.04. Last month we were at $3,905.85. So pretty good improvement there.
Yeah, good job.
Then what else do we have? Sorry guys. I think everything else, pretty sure Rob's gonna hit on.
Okay.
That's all I got.
I think
I'm
that's
just
the
gonna ask
lowest
you,
the
Joe.
collections that have ever been since I've been on the board.
Yeah, we're
Like
kind of,
9 years.
if we wait 2 days when we send out letters, it's probably gonna be a little bit
Yeah.
worse.
I'm gonna ask, I should have known before I started. Do you need to get in here now, right behind Jason, or I don't know why you're here, so, but it's okay. Or if you're just.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I think all you guys know Scott, he's our,
No, I was gonna, if we needed to introduce, I wasn't sure, I should have asked, and I apologize, Scott. I didn't even, because I didn't see you on, we didn't talk about it earlier. I thought maybe when it was his turn, you were gonna present something when you had plans in your hand.
I was wondering why you haven't stopped by the house. Why haven't you stopped by the house for a drink?
I'm busy.
Okay,
I got a slave driver out there after me.
okay.
All right, we'll move on. Attorney.
Just a update on like the IMI stuff, we've been slow stepping that since we are, working with MSD on negotiations, so there's not really anything new to update on that. Daniel emailed Farm Bureau about that property list that they said that they would get to us after you went through the building, and, we're just waiting for a response from that. We spoke with Commonwealth, and we would need to get board approval for Crow to work with Commonwealth regarding updating expenses, just due to the time that has passed on the plant. And so, we wanted to know if the board wanted Crow and Commonwealth to work on that, to come up with, those expenses for
Need a motion?
Yes.
So moved.
I'll second.
I have a first and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion approved.
And then in your board packets were the minutes from the executive session, and we need to have those approved.
I move to approve.
Second.
First and second, any changes? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion approved.
That's all I have.
Any more movement with MSD?
I don't, I believe I don't know what that's.
We have, to bring the board up to date, so far, there was an email circulating, I'm getting it done. I met with Stephen Brand on Friday to get a clarification. Some of you seen there was the penny, 349 to 348. That was the 3-year average. 1 year was taken out, and the year that Jennifer wanted was added back in, which reduced it by a penny. That's what the penny reduction in that was. Stephen felt that they were at the low end right now, where they were at, and that was where it ended at that point. I would take it back to the board. But I wanted clarification on the 3. When that went out, there were kind of some red flags went up, and I was like, okay, wait, time out. A lot of waters went on the bridge. I just want to make sure where we're at and what the reason was, and make sure I understood, so I could report it back. But at this point, that's where we currently stand, the 348.
I would probably kept my mouth shut on that 1 penny. That was an embarrassment.
Well, that was to answer a question that someone said that Jennifer wanted those 3 years, and to show that it only made a difference was why it was put in. I said the exact same thing at the table Friday morning, and that was not what it was put in there. That was supposedly put in there at the request of Jennifer. Now, I have not verified if that's what she did ask, but I remember there's a reference to the different years being used in the quotient, and I did not verify that before coming in. I took it, that's what it was.
So essentially, there's no change.
No change, we're at 348 as of right now. We discussed in the executive board some options. If you guys want to put some out, if we're to the point where you want to throw something else out there, it'd be more than entertaining, or what direction that we would like to go as a board.
I don't think it's feasible for customers right now, the way it's been presented. It's just my opinion. I'd like to see our numbers back from Crow and what the cost is for improvements. I mean, what today's cost would be to build the plant. See where
Versus
the
what the offer
feasibility
is.
is on that versus their offer. I think they included too much of their cost in that agreement, passing them on to us. So those are my opinions on it. I don't feel good about a lot of things until we see our updated cost.
I think the
where
system
we
board, I mean,
are.
we did that earlier, that, yeah, I think before we made any firm decision, you want to see that. I mean, you asked for it, there's a reason we wanted it, to know what the cost was, up against it, divide it out, and we'll know whether we're seeing apples to apples or apples to oranges,
Right.
compared to what we're making your decision, or what we are making our decisions on.
I totally agree.
Then let's leave that way until I would say that we just table that until that comes in, that email will circulate. Once that email circulates, I would say with the board, then we would go to bringing the committee back together, calling MSD and going back to the table.
Okay.
To me, that seems what the next logical step
Yes.
was. If any other board members see different, please, now would be the time. Then let's leave it at that right there. We'll wait for the numbers to come back from Jennifer and Crow. They'll be distributed. Once distributed, we'll set a meeting up with MSD and we'll go back to the table.
Sounds good.
All right? Okay. Ashley, Spotted Monkey, your turn.
So we are still posting on Facebook. We've seen a little bit of growth. I don't know if any of you have seen the post, but we put out the board meetings, and then we have just been putting out information about who you are and what you do. Same thing with your Google Maps. And so one thing that Google has done is change their analytics. And so they were able to pull the analytics from before your page was claimed. And so now it compared August 22 to August 21, and you saw like 169% increase. So I think by just having that verified with Google, that's just definitely helping people find you a little bit easier. We will be sending you out a website review so that you are able to look at the website to see what you think, if there's any changes. We're going to be adding that FAQ page that we had discussed on your current site that is up right now. We added Jason's About Us video that he did, and we're going to be doing a series of videos with Jason to let people know what is going on, and those will be displayed on your new website. But currently you can find it on the About Us page. And the email has been approved, and that's going to be sent out to about 1,500 people. And then we're going to be looking for ways for people to start to sign up for email. So that will be on your new website, on social media, on Google, and then just trying to make sure that your customers know that aren't signed up for the automatic bill pay, because those are the ones that we don't have emails for, that email is an opportunity if they would like to know what's going on and about different projects and things like that.
That it?
Yeah.
Any questions for Ashley on board? I like what I'm seeing so far. I don't know if the rest of you do. I think it's good. It's good information that we get out there. I mean, it's not the most glamorous thing, but at least it lets them know who and what we are and what we do. Jason, you're doing a good job.
Well, thank you.
Well, that's not going far. He didn't respond to my text.
Sit down. All right, is there any, we didn't have any other committee reports, did we? There was nothing out there that I can remember. No Jeff Turner. Commonwealth.
Couple things, to be brief.
So work's wrapping up out at Westbrook. The station's up and running. New flow meters in now. Got the chart recorder and I've been sharing information with your guys. I don't know if you've seen the pictures. Jason and Scott will show you. If you saw what the old chart looked like versus it's night and day.
Straight line.
And it's and he's getting positive feedback from your guys down the plant. Yeah.
Good.
I was surprised at what we're able to send down there, and so far so good. Knock on wood. That said, we're in the middle of wrapping up the work that was previously authorized by change order 5. The flow meter was part of that. So we've done some lighting work, put those LED lights down inside the can, inside the lift station, dry pit, put the flow meter in, got the flow meter chart recorder moved down inside so it's not hanging out anymore. That work's all done. The big hatch on the main lift station there at 600 is getting replaced as a part of this change order. It's scheduled for delivery on the 13th. Okay, so that's when they're gonna plan on mobilizing and starting all the concrete demo because they gotta be able to form up around that new hatch. The hatch for the valve vault over at the 500 lift station, they have. And I got a message earlier that they're gonna be out next week to swap that out as well. All right, so we'll get those two things knocked out. That leaves redoing the concrete at 600, tearing down that shed that sits over the stairs and rebuilding that entryway. And then that change order 5 work will be done, okay? Change order 6 was previously approved by this board and we're finalizing the approval through SRF. As a reminder, that's gonna give additional rehab inside the wet well and the valve vault too.
Yep.
Additional rehab and structural repairs inside the wet well and the valve vault over to 500. So we're gonna spend the money. We put new controls in over there. We're getting a new lid on the valve vault. Let's get the
discharge pipe.
Yep, new discharge piping. Let's get the inside rehabbed and that station. We bought ourselves another 15 or 20 years out of that lift station. Same with 600 when all's said and done. From the original contract work, restoration's done. We're kind of in a holding pattern monitoring. There's still some of that erosion control sock that they need to come pick up out there, but they were leaving it just to make sure we got grass growth before we told them go ahead and tear it out. Otherwise, they've fulfilled what they need to fulfill. So that piggyback on what the comment that I made earlier. We're holding about $163,000 in retainage from the original work on those guys. I'm here today to recommend we release 140, 785, 41. That's still gonna have us holding a little over $22,000 for them to come back and pull their erosion control. Plus a little bit of that will be retainage for work completed on change order work. But I'm comfortable holding back that amount, but requesting release of the 140,785.41. Now, the reason that wasn't included in Jason's request earlier is because their retainage is in an escrow account. So this will not go to SRF. I have a separate form, Ray, that you'll need to sign that we'll send back to Atlas. Atlas will send it to their bank, and then the bank will release that amount of their retainage.
With change order number 6, have we pretty much zeroed out the SRF?
We have not.
How much is gonna be left there?
Well,
20,000.
there's gonna be a little over $20,000 left.
So between that 20,000 and the 20,000 in retainage, we would be able to cover any cost.
We would.
Clean up for what you're ultimately saying is the point, you should do it, but if we get into a worst case scenario, we'd have a little extra in the SRF if we had to.
We would.
Had to go to it.
Plus, as they complete change order work and they bill, we hold retainage on that. So we're actually gonna be adding back to it. That's gonna lead me into another discussion because I have a change order 7 for them. And it's, I guess if you guys want to approve all this at one time. So change order 7.
Let me hand these out.
Yeah, you can pass those out. When we bid the job, in the unit price of the installed pipe, it included bypass pumping, dewatering, everything. We didn't have separate pay items for those things. We ended up with a net credit on length of pipe installed by 50 or 100 feet, but they still had their dewatering and their bypass pumping in place during that time. So what I'm proposing we do is we pull out, just from a clean accounting standpoint, we pull out the cost associated with the bypass pumping and the dewatering for the duration of the pipe footage, pay that separate, and then when we're all said and done, there's going to be a final quantity adjustment that'll be a net deduct that'll end up putting about 11,000 of that 21,000 that's on there back into our contingency pool. So, Pete, to answer your question, after that gets processed, we'll have 20,000 left. Okay. Plus when we do a quantity adjustment, I anticipate getting another 10 or 11 added back into that. So then you're up to 30. Plus, I'm already holding 22, so now we're about 50. Yes.
Okay.
It can be confusing, but this was the cleanest way for me to be able to pay them for that bypass pumping and dewatering, just the way the bid was set up.
So it's probably better to do this in separate motions.
I would do that because of the retainage is really separate from this.
So I would make the motion to release the
40,785.41.
What he I was close. It was 140.
I have a motion.
Yeah, I did make.
He made a motion to release the retainage of $140,785.41.
Second.
I have a first and a second. Is there any further discussion on that? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion approved.
This is the form that Ray has to sign for the retainage.
Right. Please, doing it right now. All right.
I would make a motion to approve change order number 7 in the amount of $21,640, and this would be for the cost of dewatering, the gravity sewer, and the bypass pump.
Here's the original.
Except it's not $40, it's 40 cents.
I'm sorry, $21,610.40.
I'm not picky, I
I
just
know.
don't want it to go down wrong.
I got a sign. Who?
Right. Once it gets approved by the group.
Gotcha. Okay. I have a first and a second on the $21,610.40. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Just
Motion approved.
sign your name and print your name.
Hang on. No, this goes this way. This goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hang on here. I'm gonna get this one done.
Sorry.
You're fine.
Yeah.
You got anything else?
You want me to touch on Westdale real quick?
Yes, touch on Westdale and Oakville. So if you would please write your signature on that right in the center as well.
So,
Go ahead.
You guys have heard us talk about, expanding our service area to Oakville, but also now, Westdale Schools, they're currently on a package wastewater treatment plant. It's in bad shape. They're staring straight at replacing it, or if they
It's
rehab
been
it,
in
I
bad
doubt it.
shape for a long time.
And they're a school and they don't want to be in the wastewater business. So, the town of Gaston has capacity for them. But the town doesn't really want to maintain the infrastructure to get the school to the town. So this is an opportunity for Delaware County Regional Wastewater to expand our infrastructure. We actually have a meeting. We've had some preliminary discussions. I've been to Gaston's council meetings. The town's on board with the concept. The school obviously is going to be looking to get rid of their packaged wastewater plant. We've had dialogue with SRF and USDA. Both parties are interested in helping out the school. The commissioners have already gone on record of wanting to help out the school. We've got a follow-up meeting on Friday with the town and the school board superintendent, just to iron out logistics, make sure everybody's on the same page, knows what the expectations are. Commonwealth's had some dialogue as recent as yesterday with the SRF, so that we understood what their expectations would be if this is something that gets prepared and submitted for funding consideration. Long story short, they would make us write a planning report, a PDR. It would just have to be submitted by March 31st of next year to get on the first quarter funding list for next year, which is what we would be targeting for this. We're also going to have some additional dialogue with USDA. SRF told us they weren't really interested in funding anything beyond the school. And that means going out maybe to the interstate and being able to develop that interchange out there. But that is something from a regionalization standpoint that USDA, at least their state director, has indicated to us that he thinks would be something that they would be interested in helping with. So we're going to have additional dialogue with RD USDA about that piece of it, and see if we can't marry everybody up together and see what we can come up with that makes sense for you guys, and both financially, but also for all the other parties involved. So that's kind of where we're at with all that.
Anybody got any questions? We're still a ways away. I mean, the commissioner's already approved the 3.5 on one, 400,000 on the other. My understanding, I've met with the USDA director. Now I want to get to sit down with Kyle. I'll go back to West on that, and I want to make sure who's picking up what pieces of the pie. I want to make sure it's all concrete and everybody agrees and understands before we go any further there. Before we release any money for the PERs, which I told Commonwealth, either for the Oakville or for the Westville project, we could release, the money's already been approved, so we as a group board could release those funds. But I want to make sure those commitments are in place, and I can tell you that before you release the funds. Any questions? Seeing that, nothing else? I'm sorry, maybe I missed it. Did we touch it? Was Rorickson touched on?
I expect to get our permit any day, so
Okay, I just wanted to know if there was any other, I hadn't seen anything, but that, okay.
that's all we're waiting on to go then.
Okay.
I think with getting approval on the health insurance and stuff, me and Penny can probably slowly start chipping away at the 2023 budget and get some.
You're going right where I was going. That was next because I wrote it down. Me and you talked.
Get something to the committee out for review, then we'll hand it off to Jennifer and get her to sign off on it. And we should have something here soon for you guys to look at there too.
And don't you, in there a budget committee that you guys work together on that?
Yeah, it's still the Joe, Brenda, and Mike on that one.
Okay, because I know one of the things was one of the concerns that's been brought up to me is salary. There's not been increases throughout the last few years, and I wanted to bring it up here in the board that I think the board, we need to look at it. I mean, it's cost of living, inflation has gone up. We need to look at this, and it was just one of the statements that came back. So I wanted to get it out there so everybody's aware.
We addressed stuff last year.
Yeah, we sure.
We did.
The salary, as far
We
as,
talked about it, yeah, I think we raised it just a
Yep.
tad, but
Yep.
it
They were
wasn't a
putting,
lot.
they were putting categories and,
Yep.
Jason received an increase, and so, yeah,
It
bring
was
those
going on
things.
longevity had a lot to do with it.
I think when
But
we
don't you
made
think
that,
things have changed a lot since we did that?
I think when we made that ordinance
Amen.
and renewed it this previous year, that was every
Michael getting a 9%.
the years of
on Social
years of
Security
service was
this year.
based on
we are.
But then your
we see the
mix
years of
is-
service. I think the goal was still for that committee to look at if there was a cost of living in there, and that, whether we're going to bring that to the board for approval or not. I don't think we're necessarily worried about the way the salary
Tiers are,
ordinance is written.
salaries,
That
cost of
if we're
living
still, if we're still good with those numbers and everything.
Need a meeting.
Not
Yep.
very much
We need to-
last
yeah.
Just
year.
bring you
Well,
a
yeah,
meeting
so
and
we
then
should-
bring it back.
get it back on the table. It's this is September. I mean, we have three meetings left. If we're gonna have any discussion, let's get it on the
That's
table
right.
now, and let's do it. Let's don't hurry it. Let's have a discussion about it.
Right.
All right.
Don't want to do it at the last minute.
Seeing that, then I have nothing else on the agenda. Does any other board member have anything for this meeting?
Make a motion that we adjourn. We've
Hang on
gone
just a
through it.
second, Brenda.
Public
Hang on tight.
comments.
Nothing from the board. Does anybody else have anything? Go ahead, John.
May I?
Yes. No, public comment. Here it is. This is your turn.
I'm speaking as the horse's mouth here, and I just wanted to assure or clarify everyone regarding the email regarding the penny. We received an email from Jason concerned about there had been a gap in communication for a period of time with Crow, and it was kind of a surprise by me, so we made sure that we reached out to Baker Tilly immediately to say, hey, what's the deal? I thought the ball was, whose court does the ball land? And he said, well, I can reach back out to Baker Tilly. One of the questions, as you mentioned, that Jennifer asked us was the difference between the 3-year average.
3-year average.
And Baker Tilly told us it was a penny. And I told Baker Tilly, please reach back out to Jennifer to let her know, first of all, we want to keep the communications going. We don't want a delay or anything else like that. And then also tell her what that difference was. And I just want to assure everybody here that that was in no way any kind of a counter offer of any kind or anything else like that. I wouldn't presume to insult anyone here with something like that. And since I'm here and I was part of that communication, I just wanted to let everyone know here from me that that's, if that was a misunderstanding, I'll take full blame for it.
Don't take blame for it. I personally, I don't. 348. I'm speaking for Ray, okay?
Yes, sir.
I think that's way ridiculous for what we are picking up in that contract offer that we would be liable for. That's my personal opinion. Especially with what Liberty is paying and the amount of revenue that Liberty is contributing to you guys and the amount of revenue that we're contributing, there's a big difference here. I think 348, I think we got a ways to go. That's my opinion.
And that's what we, obviously, you guys will discuss what is acceptable to you guys, and then we can, that's part of negotiation. We can sit down again face to
I think
face,
you're right, Bob.
and you guys can tell us what your number is, and we look forward to that. And I'm telling you, I'm optimistic, and I'm speaking as a district administrator. I'm getting close to retiring and everything else in maybe a year or so. I don't know. I've only had 40 years in on this deal, so. But my goal is to get another contract with you guys that everybody's happy with.
Yeah.
That's you're hearing that from me, and that's my sincere wish. So I thought I'd just take the opportunity since we're here and, just to pass on what I thought.
Appreciate it, John.
Thank you.
I do. And I'm one of the board, and that's the reason I called Stephen on the penny. It did ruffle some feathers, and it did. Understanding how you explained it, what it was explained to me, I understand, but we will go through our due diligence on this end, look at the up cost on the plant versus what Crow and then put back, and then I will schedule a meeting accordingly. As soon as the committee gets back to me, I'll schedule a meeting. We'll meet with committee and start negotiating.
Very good. We appreciate that.
All right. Now, anybody else have any other comments? Seeing none, Brenda, now I will entertain your motion.
I just want to get out of here. My brother-in-law's in an emergency surgery.
Second,
That's why I was
somebody.
pushing it.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye.